anytime you're researching a city or state to move in, it's always like cautious, right? Like you never know if you're like, is this place as good as people are saying? Or when you're looking at a site, is this really the best site? Is this like biased, or am I really buying into a good city? So right now you might be somebody or either living in Phoenix or you're planning on moving here, and you already know a cousin or two that moved here, and you're like, okay, I want to know more about Phoenix. What do I got to know? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 things that you need to know about Phoenix before you get here. And we're not talking about like, it's hot. No, duh, it's hot. Yeah, and there's a lot of cactus out here and there's freaking scorpions. Duh, right? So I'm talking about more lifestyle things that people don't really tell you until you live here. So let's start with the most important one. Number 1 is going to be, there is the city of Phoenix, but there's different areas. Phoenix is one of those cities where, if you are in Phoenix and, live in, say, a city of Laveen or Chandler, Gilbert, and you're going out to somewhere else in nearby, you're like, hey, where do you live? Oh, I live in Chandler. You'll tell them, right? But if you ever go out of town and they're like, hey, where are you from? You can't tell them, oh, I'm from Chandler, or I'm from Laveen, I'm from Gilbert, I'm from Goodyear. You say, oh, I'm from Phoenix. And we have to do that because Phoenix is so big with so many cities and towns in it that we have to just call it Phoenix for other people that don't live here. So there's different areas of Phoenix, and to be quite honest with you, you could live your entire life never going to the other area. I was born in a certain part of town, and I never even drove to the other part until I became a real estate agent. And if I didn't become a real estate agent, probably would have never done it, maybe a few times to go to a certain store or something, but that's it. That sounds crazy, but it's freaking true. So I'm gonna do my best to show you what the different areas are, but it's ultimately up to you to really drive around. Now, my amazing editor here is gonna have the city of Phoenix somewhere, probably around me, or I don't know how it's going to get done, so hopefully I'll try my best to make it work. This can be broken down to a lot more subsections, but to make this very easy to understand, there's about 4 or 5 parts that are available in Phoenix. We're going to have our West Valley part of town. The West Valley part of town is going to be essentially your suburban areas. It's going to be a little more affordable to live there. Your price per square feet is a lot less. We have the East Valley, which is where everyone and their mother wants to move right now. Chandler, Gilbert, all those areas. Suburban as well, but since it's closer to downtown, or because there's more companies there, or just quite frankly because people think it's more valuable, the price per square feet is a lot higher there. There's Scottsdale, which is like mini California. I don't know why you're moving from California to come to Scottsdale, but hey, if that's what you want to do, then go for that. Then the 4th is we have that central Phoenix area, which is essentially all the older homes, right? Because Phoenix was back in the day when we were all riding horses, the central Phoenix hub is going to be where the downtown area is now, where a lot of the older homes are. And that's where, if we were on a horse, we would ride to different cities, and that would be the main base. And we take days to go to Scottsdale or days to go, different places. So, and then the 5th, what I consider one that people really don't talk about, but it's really considered one, is North Phoenix. North Phoenix, like Glendale, North Peoria, that northern area has like Anthem and Northern Glendale, Peoria, Arrowhead. Similar to East Valley, but a little bit less expensive. Really good for people who are trying to work like in Scottsdale or trying to work locally, but don't want to be really far away. So it's a combination of older homes that are really well kept and newer neighborhoods as well. So really, first thing you want to do is when you talk with your real estate agent, either if it's me or someone else, that's totally fine. You start figuring out what you pre-qualify for and start figuring out what area works the best for you. You don't want to be, if you're not looking to spend over $600,000, $700,000, you don't want to be looking in Scottsdale, right? And one thing you can do to help you with that is you can use any of these home search sites online, or you can download Home Goals, which is an app that I created to help home buyers like you look for houses. So check it out at links below. But anyways, the point is, want to make sure to research prices and what areas working on that. The second thing is our traffic is decent, okay? But it's getting worse. And it's not California bad. I hate traffic. I hate it with a passion. And I don't think you can understand how much I hate traffic. I really hate it. California has terrible traffic. Every time I go there, I seriously hate it. Phoenix isn't bad, but you have to know the times of the day. It's quite frankly, it depends on the part of town you live in, but essentially the flow of traffic is as follows. On the mornings, on weekdays, everybody's going from the West Valley to Central or to the East Valley. And the East Valley is going as well, right? So if you're going into the town, it's really congested. If it's after 3 to maybe around like 5 or 6, downtown area, the East Valley area, it spreads out. So it's like a heartbeat, in and out, in and out. And being a real estate agent, sometimes you can't avoid it, but I tried my best to kind of figure out the times that work. Luckily, Phoenix is working actively to create new freeways. Like we have I believe it's called the 202 loop, which goes around Levine now. That helps a lot with the flow. But there's still those little ringy-dingy old freaking freeways that are still terrible to drive, like I-17. I'm looking at you. Terrible freeway to drive, gets really congested there, and the roads are terrible, and like people are just driving crazy. And there's certain freeways that are always clear, like the 101 freeway, the 101 loop on the North Phoenix side. It's always open. So my best thing to recommend with that is when you're applying for a job or you have a job already in line, talk to a few coworkers and try to find one that works around the same area you're going to buy in, and ask them how's the traffic. Because you make it seem like it's gonna be so much better here, but if you're going to work at the wrong time of the day, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna be driving that 1.5 hours or 1 hour when it should be only 20 or 30 minutes. So make sure to count that. The third and final one is might be similar to your town right now, but there's a lot of people that come into town. They're like, I don't want a cookie cutter home. I want a something that's gonna really stand out because I'm unique and I want my house to be unique. Well, I hate to break it to you, but most houses that are built here are like subdivision homes. They were built with certain 5 or 6 models, and someone got to pick from them, and they grew out. Now it's very obvious from like 2000 to 2015, those houses that were built during that time, they look more cookie cutter. They look more alike. But even if you're like looking at the older homes in the older areas, like John F. Long is an area like in the central Phoenix, Maryville area. Those were all like model homes too that people got to pick and they got built. And you can see the same house going 5 or 6 houses. So it's really rare to find something that's like super unique here. Arizona is in the bed with the HOAs. Now I hate to put my conspiracy theories hat on. I don't know why, but almost every newer neighborhood has an HOA. And if it doesn't have an HOA, it was probably built like a subdivision model where there was models. Very rarely you'll find something that's like custom homes in an area. So if you're trying to avoid the cookie cutter feel, maybe don't come to Phoenix, but I know that might be most areas now around the country, but that, or you have to just get rid of the idea of not having a cookie cutter home. Luckily, there are some HOAs that let you kind of personalize it a little bit more, have a little bit of plants up there, but you're moving here not to show your personality with your house. You're moving here because it's cheaper. So show off your personality in other ways. Like if you want to paint your car or dress a certain way, do that instead. So you're gonna have to lose some originality on the home, okay? If they're out there, don't get me wrong, you will find them, but you're not moving out here for originality. So yeah, and I guess the final one I really have for you is the cost of living, how much it costs to live out here. So if you're interested in watching that video, it is currently right here floating around me. Other than that, guys, if you enjoy the content, subscribe. We're making weekly videos out here, and download the Home Goals app if you're looking to get a home search site. And once you find a few houses you like, you can actually reach out to me via the app and we can get the ball rolling. So thank you guys so much. Ciao. Bye.